I hope your break was a rejuvenating and refreshing one. I know connecting with some of our community members here, a lot of great dialogue has started. Community collaboration and communication is really central to the work of Obesity Matters. That said, if you want to have a conversation during the session, if you wouldn't mind just stepping out into the hallway. The acoustics in the room are such that if there's extraneous conversations going around, that they inhibit individuals' efforts to hear. So if you could just please step out into the hall if you have an urgent conversation to have. So I'm very, very honored to introduce the next portion of the agenda. And I want to connect it to something that really spoke to me when I was reviewing what Dr. Peter Selby and his team have assembled for us this morning. And it relates to a TED Talk that I heard a number of years ago called The Danger of a Single Story. And Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie does a very, very powerful TED Talk, which I strongly encourage you to listen to. And though much of the context of the talk is placed in her home country of Nigeria, and that a lot of the talk focuses on race, ethnicity, and nationality, I think the learnings can be associated across many social identities and experiences. The danger of a single story, she says, lies in its potential to create inaccurate and harmful stereotypes. Those stereotypes are single stories about our community. They can lead to a deficit default narrative, and one that is neither accurate, it may be incomplete, and it may lack the strength of diversity that we hold. It limits people's understanding of who we are and what we do, celebrating the complexity and depth. It harms our dignity. Our deficit perspectives can lead to us failing to recognize the shared humanity. And it perpetuates misconceptions that can lead to malicious intent. And I think we all in this room understand the prevalence of misconceptions and prejudices that have been targeted to individuals with obesity. And that those single stories can suppress, harm, and marginalize. So, in the words, I would say, stories matter, many stories matter. Stories have been used to dispossess and to malign, but stories can also be used to empower and humanize. And so to take us down that path of building a diverse story experience, I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Peter Selby, who is the Chief of Medicine and Psychiatry at CAMH, and is also a professor in the Department of Family and Community Medicine at the University of Toronto.
I hope you can hear me. Yep, all good? So welcome to those of you online. You're in good hands with Rachel. I really appreciate it. So for the next hour and a bit, what we're going to try to do is we'll have a panel for about a half an hour. We'll have 3 panelists. We'll hear from them and hear their stories. Really, this is about how the system, things outside of ourselves, change and shape how we deal with each other and ourselves. And then we're going to do a fun activity, which is called story weaving. But before we get into that, I want to make sure that everybody has one of the bags. Does everybody have a bag from outside? Because it's going to be needed. That's part of your participation. You're going to need to have a bag. So just make sure you have a bag, because I'll be asking you to look inside that halfway through. So that's how we're going to do it. And as you're listening, we will be asking for volunteers to be part of our story weave. You can see we've set up these chairs for 8 people. And we're going to invite people to volunteer to be part of that story weave. So without much further ado, and then what we're going to do is come back to the panel to reflect a little bit on what their thoughts are. Because I know we stand between you and lunch, but we want to make sure that you leave with hope. That's the idea. That's the overall purpose of this, is to use stories, collective stories that are here in this room to help move things forward. And I think this fits nicely with the theme of the day, because at the end of the day, it is how we speak to people and listen to people that makes the biggest difference in anything. I work across several disease conditions and with several patient partners across several conditions, and it is a common theme no matter which disease condition you're talking about, whether it's diabetes, whether it's type 1 diabetes, 2 diabetes, dizziness, whatever, it doesn't matter. That is a key piece there. So let me invite up our panelists. So no relations, but Al and Angela are both Martins, but they're not related, so please come on, and Matt Larsen as well. So please come and join me on the stage. Yeah. Oh, you just came through. That's fantastic. All right.
We're going a certain order?
Yep, any order you like, but we'll start with Angela. So, yeah, make yourself comfortable. So, what I'm going to do is ask each of you, go in order to ask each of you to, to just briefly introduce yourself, and then I'll ask the opening question. So, Angela, why don't we start with you and introduce yourself? I'm sure you know many people in this room already, so.
Probably,
yeah.
some anyways. Hi, nice to meet everybody. My name is Angela Martin. I am a Toronto transplant. I moved from KW, Kitchener-Waterloo, about 3.5 years ago. And so I'm a nurse, and I also work in the healthcare, like a nurse in the healthcare industry, but I also work at the government level through an OHT as well. So I do a lot of work in that regard. But for most part, I'm just someone living with obesity who's sitting here in front of you today. So nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Over here.
Hi, I'm Al Martin. I'm a truck driver from a rural area outside of Toronto, near Guelph. And I'm also a patient advocate and a patient partner. I'm really good at getting sick and meeting doctors and specialists. And I found that I ran into some roadblocks there and started talking to people about what was wrong and was invited to participate. And every time I do that, more people invite me, and that's how I ended up here.
Fantastic. Thank you. And over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Larsen. Yeah, I've lived with obesity pretty much my whole life. I got type 2 diabetes in my early 30s, something like that. And yeah, I'm a patient partner on a few different organizations, Diabetes Action Canada. And yeah, I just finished defending my thesis for the University of Calgary in the Community Health Services stream. So yeah, super happy to be here.
Thank you. Yeah. So thank you. So what I'm going to do is ask each person to reflect on this question and share their insights. And I will start with you, Angela. Can you start by sharing how your interactions with the system has been and how that has shaped your sense of self?
What's interesting is when we were prepping for this, is my interactions with the system have not been horrible. I have a good doctor. You know, he's a good guy. He doesn't say anything really negative to me, but he's not very helpful either. The biggest problem I found in all of this has been me. I've been the problem my whole life. I've always thought it's my fault. Everything has been my fault, everything. Like from failing relationships, from not getting jobs, from whatever it is, it's me who hasn't been able to fit into the world. So the system problem has not really been a problem for me. It's been me. And even being in the healthcare system, being a nurse who helps people like me all the time, I still walk out of that room and think it's still me. Like someone said it earlier today about the advice, that we're really good. I think it was Jillian that said it. We're great at giving advice to all of our friends, but there's no compassion coming back. That's where the struggle has been for me. My whole life, it's always been my problem. Shrinking, gaining, and it's always been me. It's never been a problem. The stigma attached to it, someone says something and it can shrink me down to nothing when they just make a comment about, oh, look at that fat girl or something. I'm like, yep, I'm the problem, you're right. It's like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And this has been going on my whole life. And then it took moving here to Toronto, kind of like it's a bigger community. There's just more acceptance, I find. You can do whatever you want in this city. Nobody talks about it. And then when I moved here, like talk about timing, and then I found this group, like after the pandemic, it was their first in-person event, and it just so happened to be walking distance from where I'm living, and I'm like, I'm going. And that is what opened the doors for me to be here today, is coming into this community going, oh my God, I'm not alone. I am not alone, because I lived in shame. I'd go to my doctor and I would talk about everything but my weight. But then when I do ask for it, it's like very, can you help me with this? And he goes, why don't you try a diet? Why don't you do this? Like I got all this information that I already knew, but why am I not doing it? Why have I lived like this my entire life? And to find out, it's probably my body, it's not me. And I've stopped trying to fit into society, and now I'm finding I fit in anywhere. So it's a change in mindset, which this group has really helped. So I've been the problem, but now I know I'm not the problem. So.
Oh, that's really powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Same question for you, Al, in terms of your interaction with the system and how that shapes how you've dealt with it and feel about yourself, and vice versa.
All right, yeah, no, and that's what my first interaction with patient advocacy was with an organization called Obesity Canada, and that led to other interactions. And I'm really honored to be here, and Pretty invited me to come and speak with Obesity Matters, which I've enjoyed all their content. They've been doing some amazing stuff, and that's really inspired me to think on a regular basis, because they have like every couple of weeks there's an online session that they do that I highly recommend if people haven't already found that. And when I hear people speak there, whether it's a specialist coming in or if it's more of a question and answer thing, it makes me think about my own situation. And I think back to the first time I ever decided to reach out and say, hey, this sucks, this isn't right. And I had Matt and I worked on a fellowship project where I told this story in kind of a comic book form, and that was with a partnership with DAC and Obesity Canada, but it really gave me a chance to tell that story in a different format. But what essentially happened was I was sick. I needed a surgery from a specialist that was not related to bariatrics in any way, shape, or form. It was just an unfortunate thing that needed to be done. But because I live with obesity, it was harder for them to do the procedure. The anesthetic part of the procedure was harder to do. This is a routine procedure that was involving, they weren't even cutting me open. This is something they could do with tools that our modern medicine has, but they basically were complaining to my wife, not to me. They didn't even say it to me, to my face. They said to my wife, he's got to lose weight, just look at him. Huh. At that time in my life, I weighed less than I weigh here today. Because at one point in my life, I went up to 405 pounds, but at that particular day, I think I weighed about 310. Today, in front of you here, I've lost about 70 pounds from the 405, and I sit pretty much there at 335. I'm hoping to get bariatric surgery because I have charted my weight loss and gain over many years. I have gained and lost hundreds of pounds, and unfortunately, even if you do the conversions, it's hundreds of kilograms. I have not ever had a full success, and because of that, I don't fit in society. I don't fit into the clothes. I don't fit into vehicles. I don't fit into chairs. I don't fit into doorways or hallways. I'm often the biggest man in any room I walk into. Even at an obesity conference, I might be the biggest man in the room, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. It's a chance to tell my story and be a person that can advocate for others that live in bodies like mine. And you may notice if you look around the room, you're not going to see a lot of men advocating for themselves in a medical conference, especially if it's related to obesity. Men are not stepping up, but we suffer from obesity at a rate almost identical. It's a slight difference where women suffer from obesity at a slight percentage larger than men. And men are taught not to complain, not to talk, not to show their suffering or their weakness. And I want to say to any men that happen to be listening that being a leader and standing up for yourself and others like yourself is not a weakness, it's a strength.
Thank you. That is really key, and I think this is one of the issues around I'm hearing is how the system shapes things either overtly or covertly to help you internalize things, and you have to step up, even though it's trying to marginalize you from the main issues that you deserve as much as anybody else. And we need to speak up. So that's what I'm hearing. Over to you, Matt, for your thoughts on that.
I got to follow that up. That's going to be tough. Yeah, just to your original question, it was about kind of how the system affected my sense of self.
Yeah, and vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think about an interaction I had with my doctor. This was actually the doctor that delivered me as a child. So I've been seeing him for about 25 years at that point. And he said to me, because I was considerably obese at the time, I guess, like a little over 300 pounds in my mid-20s. And he said to me something like clearly you need help losing weight, because if you could have lost it on your own, you would have done it by now, something like that. And it was interesting at the time, just thinking about like how he kind of took that agency away from me. And yeah, I'm not thinking, I'm just wondering like how his words affected me. I'm not sure that they really changed things much for me, because at that point, like I really hadn't been able to do it on my own. I hadn't really thought about it. Just, being like living with obesity was my life at that point. So yeah, I don't know, but it definitely, kind of taking from a medical doctor saying that to me, kind of robbing me of that agency, that ability to change, definitely didn't help, right? And I think about that a lot. My research kind of focuses on shame and how people deal with it. And I think really agency, like having control of your life, is one of the most important things that you can do to really kind of take back that positive feeling and mitigate that feeling of shame. So yeah, and it's just thinking too, it's one thing I want to mention, it's tough because I think, people talk about obesity as a disease, and it's not your fault and stuff like that. And to an extent I agree, but it's like, I think maybe we get into trouble too, like saying that, it's just society's fault, or it's just certain, social structures that lead to this condition, rather than like taking responsibility for it as well. But again, it's a fine line to discuss, right? There's many issues to consider. But yeah, I think that agency is so important in regards to these feelings.
So thank you. So far what I'm hearing is each of you have experienced a system that either internalizes, and I think you alluded to shame, but it's the people, either the structures or the individuals who you interact with can do that to you, but each one of you have been able to navigate that, even though you're constantly working and against those kinds of those stories in your head or experiences that people continue reminding you about. But also you feel that within that, there's a sense of responsibility that you have as well, that your sense of agency. And one of the things is, with your sense of agency, can other people help? And I'm hearing how Obesity Matter creates the community around you to help that. So I guess my follow-up question to the panel is, generally, given these experiences, what is giving you hope to how things can or should change in how people with obesity and living with obesity are cared for, treated, and engaged in their care? So I'll open it up to anyone, or invite any of you to start.
It's interesting. I heard Dr. Wharton was talking this morning about how people come in front of them and, why can't you get people to talk about their weight? Why can't you get people to open up about it? And it's shame for me. How I dealt with shame is I go home and cry and feed myself, and here I am today. And I'm done with that now. Like it's interesting how it's sort of evolved. And being involved in this advocacy, I want to scream it from the rooftops. This is something that's very important to get, educate the masses and talk about people. But I think we have to be really careful how we bring people into the fold. You have to meet people where they at. I cannot stress this enough in my own role, in my own job. You have to meet people where they at. If you go in with an agenda in your mind that, I only have 20 minutes, which is also a problem. You only have 20 minutes allotted for each appointment or something like that. And you go in with an agenda, I need to educate, I need to do this, I need to do this. I mean, a simple question is, how are you doing? How are you coping? I mean, Dr. Wharton even talked about it too, getting into the education system where we're educating doctors. They teach doctors to the test. You're going to learn in whatever setting you're in. Same with nursing. It's the same thing. You go work in a kidney clinic, you go work in a liver clinic, you learn about the liver, but you learn basics in nursing school. They don't teach you those things. Like teaching them about the human end of things, if we don't start doing that, that's where I think it's important to just meet people where they are at. How are you doing today? Open, compassion, non-judgmental. Like these are things that are so important. You'd be amazed how people will open up if they are felt heard, hugged, or helped. And usually I just need a hug, and then I hear to be heard, and then after that, I feel capable to help myself.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's so powerful. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh,
Any of you.
That was a fantastic answer to that. And when I first heard the question, what struck me is the times I've seen a juxtaposition of approach. So I've actually had a lot of trouble dealing with the bariatric clinic I'm dealing with is very, very concerned about me having a food diary and writing down everything I eat. They don't seem to be understanding of the way my day-to-day life works and what kind of hours I keep at work and what it requires of me, and adding that into my day is not super easy for me to do. Weighing my food with a scale every time I eat it, that sort of thing. They're very concerned about that. And they're using that as that's a gate. That's a hurdle I have to jump over in order to get bariatric care. And to me, that feels like a very narrow constraint on what I can do. And I've been kicked out of the program before for not having a small enough amount of stress in my life. That's happened to me. And so I juxtapose that with something like when I talk to someone who understands, again, what Dr. Wharton said earlier about like the hugging part, the just accepting you, just asking you how you are. Because I think a lot of times, if you're living with obesity and you've spoken to a healthcare professional at any point in your life, at some point somebody said, hey, you know what to do, just go do it. Which is not something that you'd get from, if you went in with cancer, they wouldn't say, if you just go cure the cancer and come back, we can help you with some of these other problems, right? Because your feet hurt because you have cancer or something like that. But that's what they tell me. They're like, well, you weigh too much. So, we can't really help you with that until you just go lose weight. But other doctors have come in, and I want to shout out to my cardiologist who's now retired. And I'm not going to shout out his name because I'm not sure that I should be doing that. But I want to say, he saw me and said, hey, you're struggling with your weight. He saw that I had been doing that because he's seen my weight go up and down in the course of a couple of years. And he said, hey, your heart's doing great, which is fantastic. But it won't be doing great if we don't do something about your excess adipose tissue. That excess adiposity is actually affecting your health. Because that's what obesity is. It's not about your weight. It's not about your BMI. It's about excess adiposity actually affecting your day-to-day health. And in my case, it affects my health. It has a strain on my other organs. It has a strain on my whole system, my joints. I'm experiencing those comorbidities in real time. And when he said that to me, he wasn't being super huggy about it or anything. He's like, hey, there's a way to get help. And what he said was bariatric surgery is your best option. That was in 2018. It is now 2025, and I'm still fighting for that. But I remember that juxtaposition of someone who stepped up and said, hey, you need this to help you get there, and it's not your fault, and we can help you get there. Not because you've failed, but because you've had so many successes, but they haven't gotten you the full distance.
Right. Thank you. So I'll just, everybody attributes this quote to Maya Angelou, like it's, but it may or may not have been her, but it's really, we remember how people make us feel, not what they say. It's how we say it. And I think that is the key issue here that you're bringing forth. The story that stays with you this long, 7 years on, had nothing to do with the content. Had everything to do with the way he saw you. I think that's the most critical thing. Yeah, and that gives you hope that there are people there who can see you. Yes. Over to you, Matt.
Sorry, can I hear the question again?
Yeah, so the question is, as you've gone through, what is giving you hope for change in how the system treats you and others who are addressing obesity or adiposity?
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of reason for hope, especially these days. I mean, I've been a patient partner since about 2019, and yeah, working in spaces with diabetes and homelessness, and just finding like really empathetic individuals, maybe who don't even have that lived experience, but are just willing to listen and learn. And I think that's tremendous. I think the importance of patient partners, like the importance of lived experience, is more relevant than ever nowadays. And yeah, that's given me a lot of, like, I see that like in different conferences and stuff, I see that more of an emphasis on the lived experience of individuals. And I think that's tremendous, right? And yeah, just, you know, I think organizations like DAC and Obesity Matters, and just hearing from people with this lived experience is integral, especially for professionals to hear, right? That there's a connection between, yeah, the science and the lived experience of these individuals that they're working with. But yeah, I think there is a lot of hope. I think, you know, organizations like this, or like today, is amazing, right? To be in a safe space to facilitate that, you know, the expression of vulnerability amongst individuals. Yeah, Al, you nailed it with, yeah, not a lot of men are talking about this stuff, right? Because it's tough. Like, you, as a man, you don't want to like exude that vulnerability. But I agree with Al. I think it's a sign of strength, right? To be open to show that yeah, that you're not like perfect, or you're not, you know, invulnerable to these things. But I think there's a lot of reasons to have hope these days.
Thank you. And yeah, please. So I think that's a great segue from the panel into, we're really so grateful for the stories that you've shared, and the stories of both your struggle and your hope. And what strikes me here is authenticity. That it is not about being perfect, it is about struggling, but it is also about, it's not an either or, it's and. So despite the shame you feel for yourself, you advocate. Despite the barriers that you come up with, you still work through it. You still work through being kind and figuring out those things. I think those are the key issues that I'm hearing. And that's authenticity. It's not this, you know, this stereotype, as we heard, like a single story. So with that, we're going to take a chance on you as the audience to share a story. So to do that, what we're going to do is, it's going to be interactive. And what I'm going to ask everybody to do is to reach into your bag. And in your bag, you will find a red thread. So everybody find the red thread. Yeah, and the bookmark. It's a bookmark. There it is. Sorry, I thought, yeah. It's a bookmark with red thread. So I think this is the accessibility piece. With the red yarn, exactly. Yeah. It's a red yarn. So this is going to be the introduction to the idea of story weaving. And what it is we're going to ask for a volunteer to come up and share a story. And we're going to ask you to sit in that circle in the center. And then we're going to ask for 7 other volunteers to sit around. And what we will do is we'll start off with a story. That person, I don't know what the story is. We're going to have the person tell a story. I'll give you a prompt for the story. And the prompt is, think of a time when you feel unseen, misunderstood, or deeply connected. So it's not one or the other. What was that moment? And just narrate the story and all the characters who were in that story. Okay? So that's the protagonist. And the people sitting around will listen for all the characters that were in the story. And we'll invite one of them to volunteer and tell the story again from the vantage point of a character in that other story. So that's the improv side. You're going to make up a story that's in your head and share it. So let's say our protagonist is Jane, and Jane tells a story about obesity. And in that story, there's Jane's parents, there's Jane's kids, there's their partner, there's a physician, etc. Whoever, there's all that. Once they finish their story, one of the other members says, okay, I'll be Jane's mother, and then speak in the first person like Jane's mother, right? And nobody can respond. We're just listening to the story. And then Jane passes that ball of yarn to the next person who volunteers to tell the story, who might be, Jane's boyfriend or whatever. And we'll go around till we kind of saturate the story, or we run out of wool. But I think Preeti got a lot of wool, so we won't run out of wool. But the idea is we will be telling the story and retelling the story, but everybody tells the story. For those of you in the broader circle who are not participating, I'm going to invite you to listen to what's coming up. Because once the story's done, we will debrief, and then we'll also have our panel reflect on that story. Okay? So this is a little bit, as we said, Matt said, this is a safe space. We're going to try it out. If it generates too many negative emotions or you feel overwhelmed, we have Jillian, who you can reach out to, and Jocko. We've got Jocko. So if you need a bit of time to debrief or comfort, that's there. Otherwise, I'm going to be here after that, and we can debrief and talk. So let's see if we can get somebody who's willing to volunteer for this group. All right, so we have people, come on up. So we're going to ask you to come into the middle. Yeah, Lorraine, I see that. Okay, we have a few volunteers. We're looking for a total of 8 people in the middle.
Maybe one more chair.
All right, I think we see some volunteers there. Oh, fantastic, thank you. Yeah, we're going to go up to the front, yeah. So, all right, thank you. Okay. So we need, how many more do we need? Do we have, we're looking for 4 more. 3 more? 4 more. 4 more. Yeah, total 8 with 1 protagonist. Yeah, we have 1 more. Anybody else who's willing to? You promise me don't bite, and there's no, like, you can just make it up. And if you come into the circle and you don't say anything, that's fine as well. But we just need to make sure that we have people. 1 more? All right, we have 1 more. Okay. All right. I think there's a prize at the end, right, Preeti? Yeah. Is that a prize? Come on up.
Is there a cash prize, really?
Cash prize, yeah.
Who's fronting that?
Yeah. Just 1 more person.
No, we 2. 2. 1, 2.
Yeah.
2.
1 more person. Do we have 1 more volunteer?
Let's
Come
do
on.
it.
All right. There we go. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll do it.
That's okay. Neither do I. So that makes 2 of us.
Enjoy it.
It's 2 of us, right? Okay. So, who amongst you wants to be the protagonist and tell a story? That's the next one. I'll just sit in the circle so that you're not turning your head. And we need the mic so that we have the mics. Okay. So you're gonna go start. So Tara is going to start us, and Tara will give Tara the mic so that people online can hear. And there's a reason why we do this story in a circle. Anybody? We're facing each other. What else is happening? Yeah. It creates a safe space. What else happens?
A little bit of co-regulation.
Co-regulation, exactly. Where does the circle start? Exactly. So if you think about the power in clinical and patient, there's always a power differential. And that limits the story. So today we're going to try to bring it out with equalizing the power, because there is no start. I'm the facilitator, so I actually won't participate in the story unless the story is falling apart. But otherwise I won't. I won't, I promise. But what we're going to ask you to do, and Tara is holding the mic, and so Tara's going to start with a story. And that story is a story of hope and systems and or barriers, and just tell the story that comes to mind.
Okay.
And Vegas rules, right? Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But just for confidentiality, just like Al did not reveal the name of his cardiologist, make up all the names. Okay, this is make-believe. It is all about the story, right? It can be fanciful. It can be one. I did a story bee once where somebody pretended to be the walking stick of the person. So you just be creative as whatever it is you want to be. Okay.
Okay.
So, any questions around this group before we get going? You're all in? All right, go for it. So.
Am I go to the clinical setting?
You could be whatever setting. It could be anywhere. It could be whatever you'd like, Tara.
Okay.
So go ahead, introduce yourself to the person and then the story.
Well, hello, I'm Tara. So I have a clinical story. I have a love-hate relationship with vascular surgeons. So I have chronic venous insufficiency, so my legs don't circulate and I don't walk really well. When I went in to find out what's going on, because I topped the scale about 500 and I could barely walk. And I'm the type of person that I walk as fast as my mouth goes, so that's quite fast. So, and I'm just like, why am I slowing down? So I went into this clinical setting. First of all, I walked into the room and the seats didn't even fit me. Right? So then when I got to go to the office, like to the clinical room, he said, I sat down and he comes in and he's quite a portly gentleman. He said to me, he's like, oh, what brought you in here today? I said, my legs are really sore and I cannot walk. Like, why can't I walk like I used to? And I said, why am I getting pain on the outside of my legs? And I said, why are they turning a little, that little nice little shade, like a peach shade? And he said, all you have to do is eat less and move more and just lose about 100 pounds, you'll be fine.
Okay. So that's the story?
That's
All
my
right,
story.
that's the story. So now we're going to pass. Who else wants to be a character? You can make up a character. Who is in the room, outside the room? Respond. Yeah, and tagging onto this. So you're building on this story.
Yep.
And you could be whatever.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, there we go. We have Lorraine is going to be the seat. So you hold on to one. You have to hold on to one piece of this. Where is this thread?
Yeah, you can call me Tara. I'm good with that. Here, hold up.
Here, this one. Go with that one. This is unraveled.
There we go. There
Yeah.
we go.
Oh no, let's just pass the whole thing on. Yeah. There we go.
Hey, Tara. I'm the seat sitting in the corner, facing the television. I know you're talking to this porky guy, or you called him gentleman. Why don't you just ignore him and come and take a seat on my lap?
Okay. All right. Next, somebody else. Okay, we have, and you just pass the ball, and hold on to the ball and then pass it on. Yeah.
Hey, Tara, I'm your legs. And I love you. And we've done a lot together. And I know I'm frustrating you, but I'm in this with you. And I think we can figure this out.
Okay, great. Who's next? All right, I'll go across and then come back. Yeah.
Hi, Tara. I'm the door. Turn back around and advocate for yourself, because this first step of you advocating for yourself, you're advocating for every single person that's in the same shoes as you are.
Okay. All right. Next. Yeah. Go ahead. And hold on to the ball piece. Just hold on to a piece. Yeah, and then pass it on. Thanks. Yeah. There we go.
Hi. I'm your unique superpower,
Yeah.
your alter ego. This dude has no idea what he's in store for.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Next. Okay. Who else wants to go? Yeah. So hold on to a piece. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Tara. I'm your mouth. We've had a good run, and I hope you will continue to use all of the tools and all of the parts of me to get all of the things that you want.
Okay. Great. Next. Yeah. Here we go.
Hey, Tara, I'm a fly on the wall. And I have to tell you, you have no idea how many conversations I have heard, like the one that you've just been put through. This guy really needs to have a reality check and clean up his life. So let me tell you, it's him, not you. And if you had a little middle finger that you just wanted to start waving around, I don't think that would be such a bad idea.
All right. Anybody else? You can pick the story back up. It just can be, and you can play the same character, another character. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Thanks.
I'm the porky gentleman. You're walking into the room. I've had a bad day. And I don't want to take it out on you. But I'm feeling so horrible right now. I'm going to treat you the way others have treated me.
All right. Anybody else? Here we go. If other people are feeling comfortable, there's one seat here, but we can also throw the wool, it'll travel. Like, we don't have to just keep it to this inner circle. All right, there you go. There we go. Come on in. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, come on in.
I want to be the doctor in the room, and I want to say, I'm sorry. I am not giving you the treatment you deserve. I am not equipped. I haven't done the education. I'm at fault here, and I'm making a commitment to you to do better, not only for you, but everyone else who comes through my door.
All right. Yeah, please keep passing on. You guys have got it, so I just need to be quiet now. Yeah, in the circle now.
So I just stopped in the room. I'm the nurse. I just came to check and make sure everything's okay. Sometimes this doctor has a great day, other times he's a jerk. But at the end of the day, my job is to make sure this office runs smoothly, so I'm here to advocate for you. I don't get recognized either half of the time. So I just want you to know I'm here for you, and if he gets out of hand, just press the bell.
Thank you. All right. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Tara. So I'm the public servant that was supposed to review the policy for healthcare training, and I've been really overwhelmed with 75 jurisdictional scans and weird political direction that didn't quite align with what we suggested. I'm really sorry that this is happening to you, but we're going to try and do better if you let us know what's not working.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Oh, Sandy, come on in. You got to hold this yarn.
Okay. I'm the iPhone sitting in your purse, and I'm listening to this conversation. And as I listen, instead of going down the algorithm of sending you ads about weight loss medication and weight loss clinics and commercial weight loss programs, I think the reflex in the algorithm should be that I send you messages about self-love and acceptance and compassion and bring you to a community or show you a community that does just that.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're in the story now.
So I am Tara's inner child, and she wants to thank you. She wants to thank you for taking care of her and giving her a voice and advocating for her and never, ever giving up.
Hey, Tara, I'm someone you've never met before, but I see you often at the place where we work. You always have the best clothes. You always have a smile for anybody, even when you might be having a bad day. You inspire me, and I just want you to know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Not your hand up. Anybody else?
Okay, I have one more.
Okay, sure. You'll love this. You'll love the story. That's all right. I should ask the panelists if they want to join as well. Like, I shouldn't be leaving you out.
Well, I thought we weren't supposed to.
We weren't, but hey, we can make up the rules.
Never stopped me before.
Well, okay, well, let you go, and then we'll see. It seems like you may want to participate. Okay.
I'm one of your social media followers, and I just want to thank you for the light and the positivity that you put out in the world and how your posts give me just a lift in my day every day.
Okay. Oh, Preeti's going. Sorry. No, I'm going to throw you. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I hope you have insurance for any kind of injuries caused by a story. Thank God it's wool and not a brick or something. Yeah, it's yarn.
Tara, have you ever thought of joining a community where you could feel safe and supported? Well, that's what I represent.
Okay.
I represent the community where you're welcome and all of you're welcome and all of you're welcome because guess what? I walked in your shoes too. I faced the stigma. I faced all those restrictions. And now I want all of you to be part of this safe community where we all get empowered, we all have a voice, and we're going to crush it, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so did you want to? Really?
No, I'll wait till we're doing the...
You're sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Oh, wait, one more. All right. We're on a roll.
Hi, Tara. I am your shoes. Well, one of the many pairs of very stylish shoes that you put on your feet. And I want to tell you that I feel you walking forward, standing tall every single day. And I am so proud of you because I know that it's not always easy. And you go ahead and you do it anyway, most of the time. And there are days when you can't, and you take a break and do that finger thing and get up and do it again the next day. And you're allowed to take time off, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So just in the interest of time, I know the story could keep going and we could engage everybody. But in the interest of time, we're going to just move on to the next part of it. And I don't know if anybody's taking a picture of this weave that is here. You need to be you need a drone or something to take a picture of it. But here's the thing. So Tara, I'm going to ask you, as you're listening to this story, and I'll let you take the picture. So as you heard the story unfold with all these other perspectives, what shifted for you? Compassion. So compassion, for those of you who can't hear, I'm just going to repeat it because I don't think you have a mic with you. Oh, there you are. There's the mic. Oh, sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Compassion.
So can you say more about how compassion shifted for you?
Well, instead of being so angry and so, right, I'm like, you know what? I never thought of it that way. Okay, all right, maybe have some compassion for the portly gentleman, right? Well, maybe a little, not too much.
Yeah.
But compassion.
Yeah, so compassion for them, and so you see the other parts of the story.
Yeah.
But how does having compassion change us?
It just kind of, it's almost empathetic, right? Because seeing it from the other side, like seeing it from their point of view, because it's not always one-sided.
Yeah. And what about the other people who came into the story, right? From the system level all the way down to the chair, to the shoes. And how did that change how you saw it?
I don't feel so self-deprecating.
Yeah. So if you think about it, we have stories in our head all the time that are triggered by whatever happened in front of us. But what you want to do is bring in all the other stories that are existing here, right? Because what that does is it changes our sense. And so rather than being beaten down, it allows you to lift yourself up because there's always these other stories. And we don't think about all those other people and those other stories that care for us. So as we face microaggressions or major aggressions, take some time to unpack that story. Does that make sense?
And get out of your head.
So get out of your head because that's our way of how stories shape us, good or bad.
Yes.
So with this, I'm going to first thank this group. But I just think it looks great to have you holding up strings like this. But before I get you to get up, I want to just, we're going to go for lunch soon, but I want to get our panel to simply comment on what you saw, what you heard, what stuck out for you, what didn't fit for you, but go ahead.
Listening to this in a doctor's office too, I mean, I am an advocate for my parents as well and a caregiver. And I go in and I've heard doctors like just give the same bullshit story to my dad for everything. He does. And if I wasn't there, I'm like, are you serious? This can't be right. Like I talk about it, but my dad's like, oh yes, doctor. Oh no, doctor. No, that's fine. And he walks out and then he complains to me about it. And I go, this is the guy you need to be talking to. So you think of the average patient who walks in and will not advocate for themselves. This is where this group comes in, and we need to spread that word, get it out there in every interaction that's there. Like that's part of me as a nurse, I can't operate on my own. I have to operate under a doctor. But that's one of my goals is like, I would sit there and like, I would love to advocate. Someone who's going to the bariatric program, I would go along with them and going, this doesn't sound right. Like that food journal, it is a barrier because I've been involved in it as well. It's bullshit how a food journal can hold you back from treatment. And if you don't have someone in there to advocate for you and people just walk out and go, well, this isn't for me, I can't do this. And they won't let them in. So advocating is so important. And so I think it's great hearing all these perspectives because they're all advocating. And every time we say it, we get more and more in our head and we can more think about it and respond more appropriately to the bullshit.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So if you want to pass on the ball to any one of them.
Matt, you want to go or do you want me to go? You want me to go? All right.
Oh, yeah,
This is gonna be dangerous.
I was wondering why it was so difficult, but now I get it.
A yarn we're spinning a yarn here, and it's getting all over the place.
Yeah.
I can't help but think as I watch this whole thing that the idea of the head, the mind, comes to the fore, and that's something that we talk about in obesity medicine all the time. I know my own brain is getting in the way, but I want to spin that a little differently with this yarn here. And I want to say something that has occurred to me many times, and I've said this, and people that know me from other conferences have heard me, point at someone who's nearby, like Peter here. I can just say, Peter, what would you call that thing between your collarbone and your chin?
My neck.
Your neck.
Yeah.
I believe, and I know there's a lot of healthcare professionals with great egos, and they've studied many more years than I have about anatomy. I'm a trucker, okay? I don't know about anatomy. But what I do know is that the mind is inside the skull, and the head is connected to the body. It's not a separate thing. It's another organ. These things all work together. We've heard people talk already about how the mind signals the endocrine system. There's not one thing in our body that just does its own thing. Everything's connected. And so what goes on in our brains, the things that we have heard, the things that we've built up in our minds, that society's built up in their minds, what they've told us out loud, what we've seen from the looks or the lack of a look, the people that look away, they don't want to see us, they don't want us to be part of it. We don't want to be part of it anymore. We want to remove ourselves from it. That's the negative part of it. But the positive part is listening to all these people who have taken on the role of an inanimate object or inanimate object, a person or a feeling, or just, the fly, for instance, who's just observing what happens. How does this doctor interact with people? And the problem is the doctors, if you've showed up today, if you're listening online, if you're listening to this later, it doesn't really matter. If you're going to come and listen, you're not where the problem lies. The problem is those who don't. But this whole activity, the entire conference, is a move in the right direction. And the more of these I go to, the better and more positive the interactions I get, in part possibly because of my own ability to advocate for myself, but also because the tide is changing. It really is. And so these conversations are getting better and better, and less times do I go to a doctor's office where I can't fit in the chair.
Right. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you. Yeah, I look at this this web of red yarn here, and I just think about how it's like, well, you guys are kind of trapped together, but it's like a strength thing. I think all these connections, right? And as Al was saying, yeah, it's like connections are so important, and yeah, this web kind of shows how we're interconnected, and we can all kind of strengthen each other with our own experiences, and yeah, again, taking on different perspectives in that room, I think is very useful. But also just the perspectives of maybe people outside the room who are maybe in similar situations is also useful to think about. So yeah, I think this is a tremendous opportunity and a great visual metaphor for the importance of connection. Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm going to invite each of us to take out your bookmark. And we're just going to take 2 minutes to read through it. Because that is the purpose of this panel, this story weave, and the conference. And this comes from an Eastern story, which some of you are familiar with. It's called the Red Thread of Fate. And what it says is there's an unseen thread, now seen, that binds those destined to meet. It may stretch, it may tangle, but it'll never break. And that is the reason why we're using this yarn. Our stories are interconnected, our fates are interconnected, and I can tell you, I know this is the experience of you through the healthcare system, and as a physician myself, I can tell you that we hear this all the time, and there is a better way. There is a better way that can be done, and we actually train physicians in that style of communication. And part of that training involves engaging physicians in a safe space to do a story weave about their experience of things. So with this, I'm going to just thank our panel and bring together this idea that your strengths give everybody hope. Your struggles, your authenticity has brought hope. I want to thank the Story Weave and the stories that went together, and for your real willingness to be vulnerable and share your real story, and for others to project what came up for them. So thank you very much. I know we actually caught up. We're supposed to be done by 12:45, so we're on time. We're going to have lunch, and the conversation continues. And I don't know what else we're going to do with this thread, so we're going to hold on. Let me take some of that back so that we roll it back up as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
So I
So
know that's the
before-
other thing is that. Okay. We're going to have a blanket or a sweater.
While Peter is rolling thread or yarn,
Yeah.
I just want to take a quick moment and say thank you. I've been on the stage before on a panel that are very similar to this, and I know the courage, and as Peter said, the vulnerability that's required to speak your truth and tell your story.
This is the loose.
We cannot thank you enough as a room for telling your story. I identified with each and every, an element of each and every one of your stories. And I am humbled by your kindness and by your generosity. Can we acknowledge the panel, please? And, sorry? I'll go on the stage. Okay, I'll go on the stage. And finally, I would really like to thank the participants who came forward to participate in the Story Weave. I think we can see how powerful the weaving of a story is. I'm an adoptive parent. I formed my family through adoption. And we did this activity in my adoption community. My son still remembers the activity. He was 7 years old when he came, and we each left the activity with a piece of string, just like you. It wasn't on a bookmark, so you upped it, a little bit better than the Adoption Association. But we each left. He still remembers that if he carries the yarn in his pocket, all he needs to do is tug the yarn, and his dads are not that far away. Because that still connects, right? So he's now 15, whole world of trouble. But at the end of the day, he still remembers that 7-year-old little boy Nathan, and that you can pull and you can lean on the strength of that web that all of you built together. And I'm inspired and awed by your creativity. Dr. Selby. We're always advertising for allies, and Dr. Selby, Dr. Wharton, Dr. Macklin, et cetera, are all our allies. We appreciate the work that you are doing in this field at CAMH, at the University of Toronto, and other spaces and places. You're a renowned expert in the field, and you absolutely facilitated a beautiful activity that the participants are going to carry with them for weeks and months to come. So thank you. Thank you. Plus, he made up the time to get you to lunch. And I don't want to stand between you and lunch, so we're going to take an hour break now. The fine folks here at the Old Mill are just setting up the lunch, so please make connections, grab some lunch, and we'll see you in an hour.
I'm not sure what else to say. I mean, I think the comments say it all, but I just feel like our panelists, three very powerful people, powerful stories, powerful voices. We're just so fortunate to have individuals like that, souls like that are part of our community. And even the people sitting around telling the stories, wasn't that amazing? How creative were they?
Yes. It was so beautiful to watch and so touching. Like,
yeah,
really. Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, we have a little bit of a break. I think they are going to pause for about an hour and have lunch. We'll be back here having a little chit chat just before we get started again. But yeah, I encourage you to go for a walk or, you know, hug your cat or whatever you want to do to take a little break, stand up, dance on your own, whatever it might be. And we'll see you back in less than an hour.
Let's get some refreshments. And for those who haven't seen it in the chat, I posted the PDF file of the bookmark. So if you want to have a look at that, print it for yourself, make your own bookmark out of it, go ahead and download it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Maybe that could be a nice break activity. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
okay.
Enjoy your lunch, everyone. Yes, see you.
Bye.